Now that you've learned the first group of confusing English words, let's continue with even more word pairs that native speakers use every day. Here's something important to remember. Learning vocabulary isn't just about knowing definitions. Real fluency comes from knowing when to use a word, why native speakers choose it, and how it changes the meaning of an entire sentence. That's exactly what we're practicing today. Let's continue. Still versus yet. These two words often appear in similar situations, but they don't work the same way. Listen carefully. I'm still reading the book. I haven't finished the book yet. What's the difference? Still tells us an action continues. The action started before now and hasn't stopped. Imagine Mia began reading a novel last week. Today someone asks, "Have you finished it?" She replies, "I'm still reading it." The activity continues. Now, let's change the situation. I haven't finished it yet. This tells us something different. The action hasn't happened up to this moment, but we expect it will happen later. Here are more examples. Our teacher is still explaining the lesson. The bus hasn't arrived yet. My brother still lives in Nairobi. I haven't called him yet. Here's an advanced tip. Native speakers often use still to emphasize patience, or sometimes frustration. I'm still waiting. I'm still trying. I'm still looking. You can almost hear the emotion in those sentences. Ever versus never. Now, let's talk about two words you'll hear almost every day. Ever. Never. Imagine your friend asks, "Have you ever visited another country?" They're asking about any time in your life. If the answer is yes, you might say, "Yes, I visited Italy twice." If the answer is no, "I've never traveled outside my country." Notice something important. Ever is common in questions. Never gives a complete negative idea. Let's hear more examples. Have you ever spoken in front of a large audience? No, I've never done that. Have you ever forgotten someone's birthday? Yes, unfortunately I have. Here's a fluency tip. Don't answer every question with only yes or no. Native speakers usually add information. Instead of saying, "No," try saying, "No, I've never tried it, but I'd love to someday." That's how conversations become interesting. Sometime versus sometimes. These two words look almost identical, but one little letter changes everything. Without the S. Sometime means at an unknown future time. Let's have coffee sometime. Nobody knows exactly when. Maybe next week. Maybe next month. Now add the S. Sometimes means occasionally. I sometimes walk to work. This describes a habit. Listen carefully. My family sometimes eats dinner outside. Let's meet sometime this weekend. One describes frequency. The other describes an unspecified time. Here's a useful trick. If you can replace it with occasionally, use sometimes. If you can replace it with one day, use sometime. Simple. Easy. Memorable. Here's something many English learners don't realize. The biggest difference between intermediate speakers and advanced speakers isn't grammar. It's word choice. Advanced speakers naturally choose the correct word because they've heard it hundreds of times in meaningful situations. That's why listening is just as important as studying grammar. Every conversation you hear is teaching your brain patterns. So don't just memorize today's lesson. Listen. Repeat. Use these expressions in your own conversations. That's how vocabulary becomes automatic. If this lesson is helping you understand English in a completely new way, take just a second to support the channel. Click like, subscribe to Daily English, and tell me in the comments, which pair has surprised you the most so far? Your comments help me create lessons that answer the questions real English learners have every day. Now, let's continue. Definitely versus probably. Imagine your friend asks, "Will you come to my birthday party?" You have two possible answers. "I'm definitely coming," or "I'll probably come." These two words express confidence, but not the same amount. Definitely means you're completely certain. There is almost no chance your answer will change. I'll definitely finish this project today. We'll definitely see each other next month. Now, compare that with probably. It means something is likely, but not guaranteed. I'll probably be a little late. It'll probably rain tomorrow. Native speakers love using probably because life isn't always predictable. Instead of sounding too certain, they leave room for possibility. That's one reason English often sounds polite and natural. Back versus. Again, these words confuse many learners because both can involve repetition, but their meanings are different. Back means returning. Again means repeating. Imagine Sarah finishes university in Canada. 5 years later she returns. I'm back in Canada. She returned. Now, imagine she watches her favorite movie another time. I'm watching it again. She repeated the action. Listen carefully. I'll call you back. Could you say that again? Welcome back. Let's try again. Notice how naturally these expressions appear in everyday English. Learning these common combinations will immediately improve your speaking. One habit that separates fluent speakers from everyone else is this. They don't translate every sentence. Instead, they recognize complete English patterns. For example, call me back. Don't translate each word. Learn the entire expression as one unit. The same is true for see you later.
Take your time.
I'm looking forward to it. At first, these expressions seem long, but after hearing them enough times, your brain stores them as a single piece of language. That's exactly how children learn their first language. And it's one of the fastest ways to become fluent in English.